How are you? Fine. So today we have 4 questions. These are not easy questions. Please pause the video and only take 5 minutes and do the questions. I hope you paused the video and you tried. Let's try together. These 4 questions are not easy. Alright? You gotta have some kind of experience, otherwise you must be some kind of mother tongue speaker so you can understand easily. Otherwise, if you're not, it's a little bit challenging. Okay? So let's try. These questions are taken from standardized tests, SAT and GAT. Okay? So let's try together. So as you know, we have to understand the relationship between the 2 analogies before we go to the choices. Right? So, what is the relationship between a square and a cube? A square, cube. You see? Square changed into cube like that. So, what kind of change that can come, this kind of analogy, among the choices? Let's try. B. Line, cylinder. Line, cylinder. No. What about circle, sphere? Circle, sphere. No. What about sphere, earth? Sphere, earth. No. What about triangle, prism? Triangle, prism. The answer is yes, triangle and prism. This is a geometrical relationship between the 2 words, right? The geometrical relationship between the 2 words. This is the area and volume. So you can understand square changing into cube like this. So as the same token, triangle is changing into prism just like that. So the correct answer is triangle with prism. That's correct. What about number 2? You need to have some kind of experience to answer question number 2. There is a serious relationship between song and note. And it's a little bit frustrating to understand the relationship between the 2 analogies, okay? Song and note, song and note. It's a little bit difficult, but the point is its magnitude. The relationship is magnitude, okay? Note is a little bit smaller, so it can come and it can continue to become verse and lyrics, then with melody and everything in it, it can be changed into song. So, song is much bigger than note, okay? Song, note. You see? So the relationship is magnitude. Alright, which one is bigger? Song is much bigger than that of note. As the same token, which one is bigger than the other in the rest of the statement, the rest of the choices? Let's talk about vehicle and bus. The same, right? Vehicle could be bus, bus could be vehicle. These are extremely synonyms, right? So this cannot be the correct answer. What about bulb and tube light? The same, right? Bulb is a small lamp. It's the same thing with tube light, which is a light with tube in a tube. That's the same thing, right? Nothing is greater than the other, which means bulb is not greater than tube light is not greater than bulb in size, in magnitude, alright? So it can be big, it can be big, it can be small, it can be small. What about B? Quack expert. Quack, it's a sound that can be made by a duck, okay? But expert is a professional who's qualified in some sort of discipline. No relationship between quack and expert. It can't be related with song and note. What about A, quilt and sheet? Quilt is a kind of blanket, a big one that can cover our bed, right? To warm ourselves, right? But sheet is a small one. You see? Small one, it's a flat one, right? So in size, sheet is smaller than that of quilt. Quilt is much bigger. Just like song is bigger than note. So the correct analogy is A, relatively. What about number 3? Chaff and wheat. As you can understand, chaff is a residue and it's a byproduct of wheat, right? Wheat is a main fruit, right? When we produce wheat, not we produce chaff. We don't produce chaff, right? Not for the sake of the purpose of chaff that we produce wheat, right? So chaff is the byproduct, the residue. So the residue, the cover of wheat. So the relationship between these 2 words is a cover or residue or some kind of waste. What about the same relationship with that of these 4 choices? Look at number A. Bone, flesh. It seems like, but it's not. Why? Look at the connection between these 2 words. Wheat is the fruit that we want, covered by chaff. But it is covered by flesh, which is what we want. So it is opposite kind of analogy. It's not the correct answer. Alright? What about blood vein? Blood is a kind of flow. It can flow. It's a liquid, it can flow through vein. Right? So it's a kind of way of transportation. No way of transportation in this case. It is a kind of, which covers what? And which is a byproduct of what? Okay? So B is not the correct answer. What about D? Probably. Probably. Rubbish, house. After we waste all rubbish, we clean all rubbish, we can find house. Just like we take care of all chaff, we can get wheat. Possible. What about C? Drugs and wine. Perfect. Right? Wine is what we want, just like that of wheat. Chaff is the cover, and drugs is the residue. Of course, chaff is of course the residue. It's a byproduct, right? It's not what we want. What we want is wheat. Yes, we want it for another purpose, but what we want primarily is wheat. So the correct answer is drugs and wine. It is C. The other is both of them are something we can eat, right? This one we cannot eat. So it's a very, really far apart kind of analogy here. This one, D. Okay, the correct one is C. Pesticide plant, number 4. I hope you answered it. The relationship between these two analogies is pesticide is some sort of medication and plant is the kind of organisms that we take care of for the medication, right? We apply the medication. So what is one thing that we apply for the medication and the medication? We can find out. What about D? No. Teacher cannot be a medication for a student, right? Teacher is a mentor or somebody who can teach students. So not correct analogy, right? Medicine cure. This is the effect, right? Medicine has the effect of curing somebody. So medicine is the cure. Cure is the result, right? So it's not correct. What about vaccination in body? Probably, right? But let's take care of this distractor. Injection, disease. No disease here. Pesticide is a medication, plant is a body. There is no disease. So A cannot be the answer. But vaccination is a cure, just like that of pesticide. It's a medication, right? It's a medication, pesticide is a medication, vaccination is a medication, plant is organisms that take care of the medication, and body is